You really don't have to measure. I'm just going to pour it on in there. And then what I'm going to do then is just kind of move the tray around. And get it on there. Oops, let me see if I think I need both hands for this. Hey, Mom! So instead of doing that, it's kind of heavy. When I mean by heavy, it's kind of real thick. So instead, what I'm going to do is just get my spatula and I'm going to just move it around like that. Oops, got some on the edge. That's okay. Just pick it off.
Ready as fire.
Yes, ma'am. And there's no right or wrong way. The only thing you're doing is getting it on here so you can dry it out. And then after you dry it out, you're going to grind it up. And you're going to have radish powder. And then you put it on everything. And people wonder what you can put it on. Again, you put it on anything. You make a drink, put some of this in it. You make some food or some ice cream or something like that. Just sprinkle a little bit on it. You don't have to put a bunch on. You just want to get the nutrients.
So I did a good job doing it, huh?
Did an awesome job, Mom. It's okay. So there we go. So, see, I'm just moving it out. And again, as cooks, we know you work it out. You do what you got to do. This is the parchment paper I was using. Sometimes you can use your liners. A lot of times, dehydrators come with them, or you have to purchase it separately. And those you can go ahead and clean off and reuse. The mesh sheets, I think they're called. I'm not really sure. But if you don't have that, you know, as cooks, we work it out. I'm using parchment paper here. Don't use wax paper because you're not supposed to really heat that up. So just use some of this. And you can even use a Ziploc bag. Put the Ziploc bag on here and don't have it facing the direction that has the actual Ziploc logo on it. But there you go. Remember, there's no right or wrong. We're just getting it on here so we can dry it out. So I'll put this one aside. Thanks, Mom. And you can use a spatula to get it all out, but my hands are clean, so I'm just going to use my hands. There we go. And we're done with that. I'm going to get my spatula to spatula it out. You just want to try to make it as thin as possible. There's no right or wrong. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dehydrate it for on 115 degrees, because I was reading a different place where they're saying that if you do it any higher, you kill some of the health benefits in it. So I try to keep it at 115. So I'll keep it at 115 for, I think, 6 hours, and then I'm going to check on it. And you can check on it sooner. Once it really starts to stick pretty good, you could even then take it off of the sheet and put it on the main sheet. Here it's loaded. I have 3 of them. Here's 1 tray, 2 tray, and 3 trays. Okay, it's been about 8 hours. I was gone, and you can see it's crinkly. This is kind of what you're looking for, but on some areas, it's not. And I don't know, I think I would have liked to have used Teflon sheets a little better, because it's kind of sticky, but not really. I'm going to end up getting it off. Getting grabbing my cutting board and putting it on there and getting it off. But the whole point is, if it doesn't dehydrate enough, you can always freeze it, and it'll definitely take up less room. But you see how it's just coming off. So I think it's done. Let me check out the rest of them. Oops, stuck on there. Yeah, it's pretty dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off and I'm going to put them on the side of my cutting board. Let me see. I don't know if you can hear that. And don't immediately grind it up. Let it sit for a little bit, like maybe 30 minutes. So it can not have heat in it. This is a little bit leathery here. So I'm thinking maybe I'll leave it in a little bit longer. Maybe a little bit, maybe 3 more hours. And there's no definite time on how long it takes when you're dehydrating. It's not a definite. Because you can live in a different area where there's more humidity, or it just depends on the weather. So I'm going to leave it here for a little bit longer. And then if I find out that some of it has more water in it, see, oh, this right here, look, it's wet. So yeah, I'm going to leave it in a little bit longer. And before, when normally when I do it, I just take it off of the sheet and I put it on the sheet right here. But I'm not going to do that because it's kind of crumbly when I'm taking it apart. So I'm just going to leave it on the parchment paper. So I'm going to leave it on there for another 3 hours and we'll be back. Alright, I let it go for around 3 more hours and it's crunchy now. Here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to let it sit for at least 30 minutes. And then after that, then I'm going to go ahead and get my cutting board and I'm going to just peel it on off and get the little pieces. And then I'll blend it up. And we will have our radish. See? We will have our radish powder, which is awesome. And I was looking up to be able to see some ideas of what you could do with it. My mom has some good ideas. You could be able to put it over your salad because people put radishes in their salads all the time. So you can put it in your salads. Put it in some chicken salad. Just sprinkle it in there. You can put it inside of tuna salad. You can put it on numerous things. If you're making some sauce, you can be able to put it in there like if you're making gravy. You can mix some of this in there with it. And just a little bit goes a long way, and you can always increase it. But make it so that you can be able to add some in, and the people you're cooking for don't end up hating it. So just do a little bit by a little bit because, you know, health is good for us. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and wait at least 30 minutes, and we'll be back.